Hi guys, welcome back to La Lucha Zero podcast. I am your host Edith.
And I'm Angel.
And we're back again.
And we did not just fake record for 10 minutes.
We totally did, guys.
And then realized it was not recording.
We even did like a little intermission because something happened. And we were like just there waiting.
And then we're like, okay. And then I'm like, wait, it's not even recording.
We're so dumb. Anyways.
Could you imagine though, like, had we just filmed the whole last episode?
It's happened to us before. So
I would have been so mad.
I'm joking. We would have just had to run on camera.
Oh God,
audio.
That would have been so ghetto.
Take it back to episode 1.
Yeah, it would have sounded so ghetto.
Anyways, I hope you guys are having a fine Monday morning.
Mm-hmm.
It's hot
here in Vegas.
Very
we
hot.
were literally talking about how hot it is here.
Yeah, we were venting of how hot it is, and
like we had no spring. It went straight to like cool weather to just summer. Like,
and it sucks. It definitely sucks for having black leather seats in your car.
Yeah,
it's like fire. Like it's a second, third degree burn waiting to happen.
Yeah,
and it sucks. So
God forbid you touch the little click, the seatbelt clicker thing.
You're done. You're done. So I definitely appreciate the AC, and hopefully you guys aren't like dying of heat right now like us. So.
No, dude, have you seen those memes that'll be like, oh, it's about to get to that season where I'm mad for no reason or something like that? Or it's like, don't be asking me dumb questions like, why are you mad? And it's like, it's fucking hot.
It's fucking hot.
It's that kind of heat that just puts you in the bad mood. Girl, I can't. I need me my AC.
I love the cold. I'm a winter girly, you know. I love the winter. I love the fall. I'm trying to like get a little bit more because I used to hate the summer, and now I'm trying to get a little bit more like, you know what, like let me enjoy the sun, but I can only enjoy it for like 10 seconds before like I melt and into the pavement. But
propaganda, I'm not falling for. Loving summer.
Why don't we do that shit then? Propaganda, I'm not falling for. What's something else you're not falling for? I love that trend, by the way.
Propaganda I'm not falling for? Running clubs.
You know, I haven't done any running clubs. I do some running.
Running era.
That's something I definitely fail for. And I'm still falling for because I'm still bad. Which is
crazy because I bought the freaking shoes. Like, I bought the Brooks.
Girl, I even got you a running vest.
That I have yet to wear. And it's like, I just know myself.
Well, at least you're honest to yourself. I feel like I'm not like that to myself. I'm like in Delulu. Like, I feel like, I could do it. Yeah. And then I do it, and then I'm like, fuck. I don't know if I could do this.
Yeah, no. But, you know, propaganda I will fall for. Pilates.
You know what? I think I haven't tried it yet, but it looks fun. It looks fun. So I don't know if we have any Pilates princesses or princes.
Is that what they're called? Pilates princesses?
Yeah.
Huh.
Seen it on TikTok.
I'll be a Pilates princess.
Yes.
Well, first let me go try it out. You know, at least I'm gonna give it a try, and then I'll let you know if I'm gonna be a Pilates princess.
What's a propaganda? I can't think of anything right now.
Propaganda that you won't fall for?
Yeah, because I'm like not gullible, but like I fall into trends easily.
Forget about TikTok shop.
Forget about TikTok shop, yeah.
Dude, there's have you seen those funny videos where people are just like, they see one video and then they'll be like, okay, get it. Like, they're just already getting it.
I have to see a couple. I can't just see one, but like a couple of videos, and I'm like, oh shit.
And then you're like, I'm sold.
It's like, that's how the For You page works. Like, you watch it for more than 1 second, then it keeps on doing it because you're obviously gonna buy it. And it works on me sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. So, yeah.
Let us know propaganda you're not falling
Yeah.
for. I need to. Fuck, I should have been prepared.
I wish I could have been prepared. Maybe we could do something next episode and be more prepared. Because I'm like, I'm drawing a blank. I can't
know.
think of.
And
I'm like, I fall for everything.
I just came up with that right now. I was just kind of like.
Propaganda I'm not falling for. Dating apps. I'm not falling for that.
Dating apps.
Watch me on the next dating app. You're like, you're on the dating app. What are you talking about?
Chispa. I see you on Chispa.
Mind your business.
Dang, I can't think of any right now.
Maybe we could do like next episode and be more prepared. And do like a little segment. But let us know in the comments for any propaganda you're not falling for.
Yeah.
Yesterday was I was changing the topic a little bit. Yesterday was my sister's graduation, and I'm gotta say I'm a proud big sister. You know. Really proud big sister. And right now it is graduation season, so we wanted to give you guys, whoever's graduating from high school, college, university, trade schools, kindergarten, like whatever you're graduating from.
I low-key hope that we don't have any kindergarten listeners.
Yeah. I really
that would be completely inappropriate.
Go get your parents right now.
And tell them to listen to us.
Not you. But a big congratulations, like it's a lot of hard work you put into what you do. So yeah.
And for all those who aren't graduating, you're losers. I'm just kidding.
Shut the fuck up.
Talking about myself.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm kidding.
But yeah, so I'm trying to think about, because I just graduated university this past fall season. And obviously I'm still in my 20s, but I'm trying to think about like back when I was like my early 20s and still kind of going to, because I had a gap, guys. I had a long gap. Like I kind of dropped out and then I came back.
A gap year turned into gap years.
Years. Almost a gap decade, honestly. But I remember when I first initially started going to university, like late teens, early 20s. Like, dude, that was a struggle.
Why?
Like, I feel like it was very different going to back then to my experience now.
Why? Like, what was different?
Like
besides the online school.
Yeah. I feel like, I don't know if it's just like barely going into adulthood and having to tackle that while going to university. It was just a lot, and I feel like this time around I was very seasoned. So let's just say that
I was very seasoned.
I was very seasoned, so it's like,
we love that sazon.
I kind of knew what to expect, and it wasn't like, even though it was hard, it wasn't like something that I was like, I can't do this anymore, So yeah, but it's just sometimes your 20s are interesting, especially like during your earlier to mid 20s are really hard. So.
Well, I feel like that age too, it's like you're experiencing like important milestones of your life for the first time. And it's kind of like the first time around you're just like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah.
And then like after, how you said you went back, it was different. I feel like you were mentally in a different place, and it was something you kind of already it wasn't your first rodeo.
Like I knew what to expect.
Yeah.
In a way. Yeah. So yeah, definitely. Like I guess you learn a lot. And that goes to show, like, like if you do want to, like, if you are like not at the, what is it called? Like the typical university age, which is right after high school, like don't let that stop you if that's something that you want to pursue, Yeah. And I don't think university has to go back to school, or like learning and knowledge doesn't have like any age.
Yeah, well, wasn't there just a graduate? No sé de dónde, pero he was like
you mentioned it.
80 years old, right?
He was 82, I believe. I actually have it right here, girl. His name was Rafael Aguirre. Is. Sorry, guys. Me. His name is Rafael Aguirre Rodriguez, and he was 82 when he graduated from Amarillo, Texas. Or Amarillo, how they say it. But I say Amarillo. It has 2 L's.
Snaps to him.
So, and I was watching his interview, and he was saying how, like, they're like, what made you go back to school? And he's like, I just wanted to. It's just a goal that he had for himself. And he's like, I just knew, like, it's never too late. Like, it's never too late to, like, accomplish your dreams. I was like, wow, that's inspiring. That's inspiring, because I feel like a lot of people get, like, I've heard, like, a lot of people, like, in their 30s or 40s be like, oh, like, I want to go back to college, or I want to learn this and that, but I just feel too old. And it's like, you're just never too old. You're never too old to learn. So yeah.
Excuse me.
Little cough. I had that little cough.
I think and I feel like that's, I don't know, that mentality that like you feel like you're too old to learn. It's like, I feel we need to, I think as a society, we should just get rid of that mentality, because it's kind of, I feel like that mentality says a lot. It's kind of like, at what point do you, I think maybe they think they're too old because of the, like typical college experience, because like people are joining frats and like.
And I think that's what they correlated to.
Yeah, but like I feel like you're never too old to learn, and I feel like with this new administration has really proven that.
Yeah,
you're never too old, because a lot of these fucking people need to do some learning.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's somebody we could take inspiration from. So congrats to him, and congrats to all the grads, because
it's a lot of
work.
It is.
But you know what? Kind of going into the 20s and stuff. And I think we kind of wanted to give you guys a little bit more. How can I say this? Fill in my words. You don't know what I'm speaking about right now, huh? You're just looking at me like I'm crazy. We could go into the segment where. Oh, go.
Nothing. I was just going to say that I think what you're trying to say, but you can always tell me if I'm wrong.
You're wrong. I'm just kidding. You're probably right, because you could read my mind.
No, I was just going to say, I think that like your 20s are a very like pivotal time in your life where, like I was saying before, it's a time where you're reaching, like it's a lot of different milestones that you're reaching, and we're basically learning as we're going, you know. It's like we're living life for the first time, and we're really actually living life for the first time anyways, all the time.
Yeah, everybody is.
Yeah, but there's certain experiences like your 20s where I feel like that's where you get like the brunt of a lot of like really like adulting.
Yeah, because it's like the first actual like whole decade of being an adult.
Yes, exactly.
And you learn a lot of lessons, and this is going into this segment that we wanted to, just kind of touch on. We wanted to give you guys the 6 lessons we learned the hard way
in our 20s.
So you want to go first? You want to do the honors,
yes,
Angela?
I will give you guys my first one. So not the first, but one of the lessons that I learned the hard way in my 20s is that mental peace trumps pride. So, and what I mean by that is that I'm one stubborn...
You've done better. You've grown a lot as a person.
Yeah. Thank you. But I'm just one stubborn girl, and I'm just very prideful.
Like how prideful?
Like very prideful. I just think like, okay, let me break it down. I think when you grow up, and this could be anybody could relate to this, but I think from my experience, like I very much grew up very independent, self-sufficient, and I feel like it kind of gives you like a complex when you grow up being independent and self-sufficient. Like you feel like you always need to be on top of everything, and you feel like and you almost, it's not like just a feeling, you almost kind of feel like a responsibility, especially if you have like family members who depend on you. You're just that one person that everybody depends on for anything, and I had to figure it out on my own growing up. And I feel like when my mental health issues, especially my depression, really, really started weighing me down and really affecting me. Like it got to the point where it was physically affecting me, my mental health and my depression, where, I was spiraling. I was really spiraling, but I was so damn prideful that I was like, no, I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to white knuckle this. I just need to get over it. I just need to get over it. Why am I feeling this way? And I was just so...
You're like, I could get through this alone.
Yeah,
like,
I can get through this alone. And, you know, I think that I finally cracked and I hit like a rock bottom and decided, okay, I'm gonna, you know, talk to the doctor. And they actually gave me like anti-anxiety medication. I started going to therapy, even though it was very short-lived. But then I really was like, you know what, I need to like really lean into like, you know, like self-help. And that's when I really started reading a lot of books and trying to figure things out, you know. And then there was a time of my life where I did have mentors in my life. And I just realized the hard way, because I decided to fucking white knuckle for so long, that it was like, life is too short to be miserable and to be depressed. So why not lean into other people and lean into help? And pero no, yo bien cabezona que no, like, no, I'm gonna figure this out on my own. I just need to get over it. And I'm like, life is too short. It's way too fucking short. Like, the whole point is to be like living your happiest life. Obviously happy is a very fleeting emotion, but it's the whole point of life is to try and live the best life as much as possible. So like, why am I going to extend my misery and my depression? So for me, I feel like my mental peace trumps pride. It's like, at this point, I feel like now that I've gone through a few depression episodes, I'm like, I don't give a fuck if I look like a weak bitch, because I used to talk to myself like that. I had such negative self-talk about like, I would literally tell myself like, why are you being a pussy? Like, why are you a fucking weak ass bitch? Like, just get over it, Angel, you know? And I used to talk like that to myself. And now whenever I've, you know, I've had a few depression episodes, and now I'm just like, no, I'm not gonna fucking extend my misery. So what happened last time that I just went through something, I was like, fuck that. I went to my psychologist, got onto different medication to see what's gonna be working for me, and decided to like really dig in and just, you know, get through my depression episode versus trying to get over it. Because what happens when you just get over it, you're gonna end up right back where you started. Exactly. So to me, I feel like a lesson I learned the hard way after all that shit of so much depression and mental health issues is that I think mental peace trumps pride. I think it's better to just, you know, give into actually receiving help. Yeah. Versus being like, no, I'm going to figure this out on my own.
But yeah. And I think that's something like, you know, we all kind of like through a kind of like variation of that, like of trying to like the mental peace trumps pride. Like, and I think in instances in my life that I kind of like, oh man, that's true. Like, you want to do it like your own, you want to do it. And there's a much easier way to it. You know, there's a much peaceful way, but you decide to take the rugged route.
I think that applies in like, it can apply in so many areas of life though, right? Because I feel like sometimes, like, let's say you know you're wrong, like you know you fucked up, but you're like, fuck that, I'm not gonna apologize because you're too damn prideful. But then like that shit is eating away at you because you're like, damn, I really did fuck up though, but I'm too prideful
to even say that.
It's just kind of like, dude, just fucking admit, take accountability, admit you were wrong, and move past it. Yeah. Like, you're gonna live a much happier life.
But then it comes into issues now you're into like, a lot of people don't like taking accountability and stuff like that. And then that's a whole can of worms, but.
And that's why I'm saying
mental peace.
Mental peace trumps pride.
Yep. That's a good one. That's a really good one. I guess we'll go to mine. I think a hard lesson I learned in my 20s. A lesson I learned the hard way in my 20s. There we go. I got it the third time. The third way. No puedo hablar. ¿Saben qué? Me voy a ir. Angel, here's the phone. Say them all. It's you don't get what you deserve. You get what you accept. I think I learned this very much the hard way. Especially during my early 20s when I was going through a lot of stuff. And I was in, and I think it could apply to like different relationships I've been in, right? But I'm particularly like putting it into like a relationship mode. when in relationships, I would be like, why are they treating me this way? Like, why? I don't deserve to be treated this way. I do so much for them. Like, I would want for that to be reciprocated. Like, I don't deserve this. And I kept on saying, like, I don't deserve this. I don't deserve this. Pero I would stay there. I would stay in the same place and I wouldn't make a change. So it came to the point where it's like, okay, I could say I don't deserve this a million times, but I'm still there. I'm still getting treated that way. And I feel like I definitely learned that the hard way, because after, honestly, it was years that it took me to kind of get this, that I'm like, oh yeah, I might not deserve it, of course, but I'm letting it happen. I'm letting people treat me like this. I'm not putting my boundaries. I'm not sticking to what I believe in and staying true to myself. So I'm letting this happen. I'm accepting this at this point. And these people are treating me like this because I accepted from that treatment. So, like I said, I think it's more so like I could put it more towards like the beginning, like of my 20s, where I was in a very not good relationship. I was in a toxic relationship. And I kept on like asking myself why do I deserve this? And it was just basically that's what I was accepting from that person. And it wasn't until I put my boundaries up and decided to, like, you know what, it's time to really stand on your ground and be like, no, aquí esto no va a pasar. And yeah. And I think ever since, like, kind of then, and even I think especially now, like I try to like look at, and it's at every aspect, relationships, work situations, friendships, whatever, it's like, if I tell myself, oh, I don't deserve to be treated like that, I start thinking like, wait, so what am I accepting that treatment from them? Am I not putting those boundaries, and am I not communicating with them that this is not right? Like, why, like, it goes beyond that. Beyond like, I don't deserve this, So, yeah, that's mine.
That's a really good one. I think it does apply to a lot of areas of life.
Everything, honestly, like in everything that you kind of encounter. So, I don't know. Yeah. I learned that the hard way though, because I feel like I put it more towards relationships, but it's through a lot, even like family and everything, and like
friendships
that. And friendships. Girl, I tolerated so much, and I was like, for example, for friendships, I'm like, I give 110% all the time to a specific person, and because that's the kind of friend I am, I try my best, I'm gonna try my best, especially if we're such close friends, and then I would get like maybe 50% back, and it wasn't like, I know relationships aren't always equal. I get it, but for it to be all the time, I was accepting that treatment, even though I was like, no, I deserve better. I deserve a much better person to be like friends with. But it's because at the end of the day, I was accepting that treatment. I wasn't putting a block, like I wasn't putting my boundaries. I wasn't telling that person, oh, this is wrong. Like, I wasn't standing on my ground. And that, me not speaking up meant that they thought that it was okay to do whatever they wanted.
Yeah.
So, it applies to everything.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah. So, go on, Kayla.
Okay. So, Okay, another lesson I learned the hard way in my 20s is that ignoring a problem or trauma won't make it go away.
Oh, avoidance.
Yeah, avoidance. I think this one, I don't want to get like too into it, because I don't think I'm ready to talk about it. But it was something that, happened. And I think that for the longest time, for one, I didn't recognize it for what it was. Second, I think I tried to like tuck it away and not, again, prideful ass person.
There we go. Wow, that goes right back to that too.
Yeah, prideful ass person. I think I didn't want to I didn't want to accept the fact that happened.
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't want to accept that and just be like, no, like, I'm not that girl.
Yeah.
You know, and I went through a lot of negative self-talk, you know, let's just say that. But I think for a long time I was just like trying not to even think about it. You know, it's just like, if you don't think about it, you don't feel the feelings. You know, you don't feel
for now.
Exactly.
At that moment.
And that's what I'm getting at. It's you know, if you don't think about it, then you don't get to feel those feelings or the emotions of what happened. You know, you're not letting reality set in. Yeah. And at that moment, but you know, that trauma, those problems, they don't go away. You know, they just
they're snowballing.
They're just in there, and it's growing. It's like, it's just, it's going to come out somehow, some way, you know? And it could be, you know, weeks later, months later, years. It could be literally years later. And I remember when it all came back, and I was like, what the fuck? I thought I was over it. You know, like in my head, you'll be like, I thought I was over it. I thought I was healed. And it's just like
me all the time.
you really convince yourself that you're over it. Again, you're over it because you never really got through it. And I didn't accept it. And I think it just, I remember I kind of spiraled a little bit when it all came back years. I'm talking like 10 years later. It all came back, and it was kind of like spiraled a little bit. And it was just kind of like, you know, I had to finally accept what was and move forward from there.
Move through it instead of just trying to.
Yeah. And just
get over it.
You know, and I think maybe at some point I can talk about it a little bit later. Like I said, right now, I don't really want to talk about it too much. I think it's something that it's still like there, you know, and I'm having a little difficulty still accepting it because, again, I'm a proud ass bitch. And but I think I'm doing better. I think as I'm, you know, reading and seeing different people talk about their experiences, you know, it's just kind of like, it makes me feel a little bit more comfortable. And I think at some point, you know, like, I'll feel comfortable enough to talk about it and, you know, maybe be that person that, you know, makes the other person feel safe. Yeah. You know? So, exactly. Again, ignoring a problem is not going to make it go away, guys.
No, it won't. It won't.
And then it comes back and it just fucking hits you like 10 times harder.
I know. And it's like, you could have dealt with it back then. Like, actually went through it. But no. It just got bigger.
And just got bigger and bigger. Like, and honestly, that can apply to a lot of things. And here's another way that I can apply it to is that for the longest time, I think like it's in the 20s, it's like a lot of people do this in their 20s. It's like times are changing, and I'm really happy about that. But I feel like a lot of people for the longest time did not take care of themselves, did not take care of their health. And I'm not just talking mental health. I'm talking physically. Like your physical health, because you're drinking, you know, estás en las fiestas, like you're just drinking alcohol, you're eating junk. And then, you know, like you keep ignoring the like, oh, I just went up a little bit. I went up a little bit. And then like before you fucking know it, you're like
a full-blown alcoholic.
That and 50 pounds overweight or whatever. And it's just like, it's gradual, right? Because you're like, it's not an issue. It's not an issue, you know, it's not overnight. And then one day you wake up and you're like, what the fuck? How did I gain 50 pounds? Yeah. And then you're like, oh, I wasn't taking care of myself. I wasn't addressing my problem, like my eating addiction. I wasn't dealing with like my emotions, because some people eat their feelings or drink their feelings, and then you end up a full-blown alcoholic or addicted to something, you know, because you didn't deal with what was going on.
Exactly. Yep.
And here I am, guys.
Ahí vamos.
Ahí
vamos. And it's crazy how like health affects so much. Like your physical health, just like your physical health, like even affects every single thing about you. And if it's one thing, it's like that's one thing that I tell my sisters. I'm like, take care of yourself. Like, 'cause that creeps up on you.
It really does.
It creeps up on you. So another lesson I learned the hard way. I got it right this time.
There you go.
Another lesson I learned the hard way in my 20s was there is power in learning to say no. And this basically goes to my people pleasing. My people that are pleasing, that people pleasing. People pleasing
This
people.
goes to your people pleasing people.
People pleasing people.
Say that 3 times really fast.
Because I myself, I definitely was a people pleaser. Especially like, I think like during my mid-20s to now, like I've learned to the power of saying no, but it cost me a lot because I felt like, especially in my early 20s and all throughout my life, because that's the way that I was raised. My parents were very like, like, how can I say this? I love my parents.
It's a Latino thing too,
Yeah.
because it's very much like, it doesn't matter if you don't fucking like somebody, tienes que saludar.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like you're ignoring your like emotional regulation or whatever, you know? So you're taught to learn and please people.
Yeah, exactly. Or like if they need something done, you're kind of like, you have to kind of drop whatever you're doing and, help
like your
them.
family, of course you have to help.
Family is over everything. And I get it, but to an extent. And I think I took that, obviously, I've always been a people pleaser, like, especially like during my early 20s. I felt like people would just take advantage of that and just walk all over me because I would never say no. Like if they needed me, I would literally drop everything and just... to the point that I was like, especially like during the first part of like when I started going to university the first time around, that affected me a lot because I couldn't say no. You get me? And that affected my grades, that affected my attendance, that affected a lot of it, like personal things, just because I wanted to make sure that that person was taken care of, like people around me were taken care of, and that I wasn't the bad person. You get me? And obviously I learned that the hard way because I had to do college second time around and I had to pay that I had to pay for that. That was a good lesson learned. But also the fact that, realizing that it comes to a point where you realize, I think it's your frontal lobe develops fully, and then it's just like, wow, these people really took advantage of me. Like took advantage of my kindness, of me, just because of the fact that it's like I couldn't say no to them. Even if there was things that I had to take care of that were obviously more important to myself, I would still put them over them. And it came to relationships, friendships, family, work.
Yeah.
And during my mid-20s, I was like, no, definitely not. Definitely not. I think it was more so, I think what really solidified me learning that lesson was during COVID. Where mental health really took a downfall because I just saw how nasty people were. And I'm like, why am I like, I'm putting myself, like my health and my mental health, my physical health in jeopardy for just because I can't say, you know what, no, like I'm gonna take a step back, because I was there because I wanted, just because I couldn't say no. So I learned that the hard way. And then ever since then, I'm really good at saying no now. Like, somebody asked me to do extra work, I'd be like, actually I got stuff to do, so no, I cannot do that. And it makes people look at your time also like
value. It makes
more valued. Like people like see my time as more like valuable because they're like, oh, like she has so much to do. I don't know what I got to do, but I just can't help you at that point, or I can't do whatever you need me to do if it's not under my thing. Or it's like with friendships too. It's like sometimes it's like, I don't know. I don't know the last time I told you no, but I don't know if I...
You tell me no all the time, girl.
I do, huh?
You just say it very nicely.
I do. But yeah, it's like putting those like limits and boundaries, and people like, I feel like it was the people pleasing in me that I was like, I don't want to be disliked, or I don't want them to look at me in a bad light.
Or you don't want to have problems.
Yeah, I don't want to have problems because also a confrontation issue. And it's not like that. Once you learn the power of saying no, like people, like, it's not like people are gonna like put like a horns on you, you know? I mean, some people might, but then it goes to, I don't give a fuck. Like, think whatever you want. As long as you're taken care of, that's the most important thing. So, yeah. I think
that's a really good one.
The power of saying no is definitely a lesson that I learned the hard way in my 20s. What about you, Angel?
My next one. And this one's a little funny.
I know.
This one's a little funny.
I know.
So a lesson I learned the hard way in my 20s is to make sure you drink water and eat before you donate plasma.
If y'all know, if you know, you know.
Yes.
If you've been watching La Lucha Israel podcast for a while, you know why she's saying that. But maybe for our new viewers, you might want to like give them a little tidbit.
So in my early 20s, I was very what's the word? Like, it was a goal of mine. What was it? I was very motivated to pay off all my debt, especially because
You're determined.
I was determined. There you go. That's the word. I was very determined. I want to say like early to mid 20s. I was very determined to pay off all my debt because Val and I had agreed that we wouldn't get married unless we both paid off, you know, our individual debt, because we didn't want to like get married and then we have bigger debt together. We kind of wanted to have like a clean slate, and also like I just didn't want to be in debt. So I was very determined, and I was willing to do anything and everything so I can pay off my debt faster. And one of the things that I did was I used to donate plasma, and which, by the way, like if you guys need money, like that is a good that's a good source of income. Like honestly was able to make like credit card payments with just donating plasma every month. Yeah. I was getting like $300 to $400 a month donating plasma, and I would donate like maybe once or twice a week. So, and you would get like $400, you know, and they also had like bonuses that if you actually did it every however many days, they gave you an extra amount of money. And so it's, you know, if it's something quick, like you're literally just you're spending maybe like an hour of your day to go donate, and it's not like you're doing it every day, you know?
Yeah.
But anyways, I used to donate plasma. So one morning I didn't eat or drink because I just wanted to get it over with. And I went to go donate, and I ended up having to go to the grocery store to run an errand for my mom. And I fucking passed out twice, bro. It was so embarrassing.
In the checkout line.
Yeah, I was in the checkout line and I blacked out. Got up and I literally was like, I'm just thirsty. I was thirsty. I'm just thirsty. And I blacked out, and then I fainted, and I got up and I was like, you know what? I'm fine, guys. Everybody was freaking out, and I was like, I'm fine. I'm just thirsty. And my ass blacked out again and fainted. I woke up on the floor.
You thirsty bitch?
Yeah. I was one thirsty bitch, and the fucking manager of the store brought me water, and they sat me down in front of the guys. That was such an embarrassing moment. Like, they sat me down in the aisle and then called the fucking paramedics, guys. I literally was like, and then the paramedics, I was trying to get the fuck out of there before the paramedics showed up. And the paramedics got there before I could check out, and they fucking sat me in front of the entire store. So every not just my checkout lane, okay? Every checkout lane was literally watching me in front of the store on a chair as they're fucking checking my vitals. And it was one of those moments that like, trágame tierra. Like, I was so embarrassed. Like, how dare I faint at the store and the paramedics check for my well-being. No, guys. So make sure you guys are staying hydrated and eating if you guys ever decide to donate, because that was not fun.
Yeah. Especially all eyes on you.
Yeah.
Shorty.
No, it also kind of freaked me out because I'm like, damn, my body really did that.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, that's why they're really big on, like, eat your breakfast
Yeah, like
before you go.
like breakfast really be the most important meal of the day.
Yes. You thought they were playing, huh?
Yeah. So it's like make sure you guys are, feeding and hydrating your body. Like your body is your temple. Like that's not just some bullshit people say. Like it's really like your body is what allows you to move around and do things and experience things.
And I think sometimes we take it for granted,
Yeah.
Actually, a lot of times. Like, being able-bodied as we are, like, so much that we could do. It's like, we don't realize how much we have until we lose something.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I just don't want it to get to that point for me to lose something, to really value what I have.
Yeah.
And what I could do as of right now.
I actually learned that in my teens because my junior year, remember was it junior? Yeah, it was junior year. I actually broke my leg and dislocated my ankle, and I was like incapacitated for I don't even know how long. So like there was a time where like my mom had to help me shower, and it was so incredibly, again, goes back to me being a very like prideful girl and not wanting help. That was a very challenging time for me. So I guess I learned that fucking lesson multiple times over, or not even learned it, but like
it's ingrained in me.
Yeah, I was very hard-headed, and it was very frustrating. And I definitely went through like mental health issues then too, because I couldn't do a lot of things on my own. And then not only that, but like, it was just me and my thoughts, because I couldn't like walk around freely and do, like I just was laying on my couch half the time because I couldn't do stuff. And so it made me realize, like, girl, you don't take this shit for granted. Like, it's just, your ankle is very useful.
Exactly. Your leg is very useful.
Yeah. So...
but it's just, sometimes it gets to that point, for you to realize. And I'm just like, I just don't want to get to any point like that.
Yeah, no.
That's why, like, I'm trying to do my best to take care of my body right now.
Yeah.
And trying to, because
I'm about to hit 30. And
girl,
so
me and you to get the...
So I hit 30 in...
October.
God damn it. It's coming up like
a couple months.
In like 5 months, right? Like 5.
Dios mío.
I think it's like 5 months.
5 months? No,
yeah.
girl.
June, July. Oh, wait. We're at the end of May.
Yeah.
Fuck, it's about to be June. So July, August, September, October. Oh my God.
4 months.
That's scary. So my goal is to be in better shape by my 30. Like, I need to be healthy by 30 because... I'm actually like working on it right now. I think I've been doing really good.
You're doing great progress.
I'm making great progress, but I think I got to the point where I was like, dude, I'm fucking sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Yeah.
So.
And sometimes it has to get to that point for you to like ponerte las pilas and stuff like that.
I know.
So.
And like also another, I want one more thing before you go. I feel like I keep cutting you off. One more thing. I feel like, it's never too late to get healthy. Like, it's just, I mean, it's obviously better to do, like, to deal with it, like, kind of what I was saying before.
Earlier
is better than later, but it's never too late. Like, you can't just say, like, oh, I'm too old already. And then just, you're just going to deteriorate? Like, no, it's never too late. And, like, I remember, like, I've had this happen where, because I've gone through like a weight loss journey before, and I did amazing. Like, I lost almost 100 pounds, and then I gained it all back. And then there was so many times where I was like, Angel, like, why the fuck you were doing so good? Like, I was so hard on myself because I'm like, how can you, like, and then you kind of get like, I get frustrated because I was like, I was already there, like I was doing so good. But it's like, if I did it once, I can do it again, and it might be a little bit different because I'm a little older now, and, it might be a little bit harder, but, I'm building resilience, and I'm making changes now before I'm older, and it gets harder.
Yeah. And especially like, I don't know where I was, I read this, but your health in your 20s is super like valuable because it kind of determines like the rest of your years in a way, when it comes to like any underlying things or like, you know, different things that you could get. So that's why if you're like in your 20s or, you know, like, the earlier you the better. Obviously, it's never too late, but the earlier the better. If you right now, if you're watching this, you know, and you're like mid 30s, you know, or 40s, and right now is a perfect time. You just get on, the earlier the better. The sooner the better is going to be the best for your health. So, yeah. I know. Yo poco poquito. Ahí voy.
Let's jump into your last one.
Okay. Let's wrap it up with the last one. Not wrap up the episode, but like wrap up the
segment.
The 6 lessons.
Yeah.
Okay. So, the lesson that I learned the hard way. This is my last lesson, right? I mean, I learned a lot of lessons, but one last one I'm going to talk about is the timeline we create for ourselves is complete nonsense. I got to tell you that one more time for myself, okay? The timeline we create for ourselves is complete nonsense. And this is actually something I still struggle with.
Which is crazy.
Right now.
We were just didn't we just talk about this on another episode where we were like these invisible timelines?
Yeah. It was like, yeah.
It was a whole episode.
Yes. And I'm still learning that lesson. Like, it's like always learning this lesson, because I feel like I get to points where it's like, you know, I'm envisioning my life a certain way. Obviously that didn't go. I didn't know better, you know.
Yeah.
Adulthood is very different. I didn't know better, and we all have those dreams and aspirations and everything, and my life went a completely different route than what I thought it was going to be, and I learned to accept that. But then I hit different milestones and stuff, and I'm like, oh, I still go back to that same old thinking, you know, like my life should have been this way. I should have been finished with this a long time ago. I should have done this by this time. I should have been married by this time. I should have, you know, like stuff like that. And even though I say like, I come to a point where every milestone, like I have these talks with myself. And then I go back and forth. And then finally I'm like, you know, I'm okay with this. And then next time milestone comes and we're in the same thing. And I think it's something that I'm still working through. I don't think I'm completely, like, I've completely learned the lesson to the point that it's completely healed in me. But I'm learning it. I think I'm much better with it, because before I used to have a lot of self-talk when it came to like always comparing myself to like where I should be and where I'm at. And I think now that I'm older, it's a little bit less, but I still deal with it. So I think that's definitely a lesson that I don't know when I'm going to complete the learning on that one, but it's getting there. And I know Angel is subject to that, because I talk to her a lot, and recently I talked to her about this same subject when I finished college, I think, right? And that it's that I don't know, like I expected for me to be at this age in another point of my life, but I had just finished college, and I didn't feel the need to like celebrate it, because I should have done that a long time ago. And that's how I talk about it in my mind, like why celebrate it if you should have done this a long time ago? And that's something I really have to work on. I have to stop comparing myself to these imaginary timelines, or even comparing myself to like, I try not to compare myself to other people, but I think subconsciously I kind of do, you know, like, oh, you know, they're at that point. I should be at some point in my life like that, you know, like but I'm not. And that's why I'm saying like these timelines are nonsense. They're created by society. They're you in your mind. You create them as well, where it's not truth, you know. Your journey is your journey, and everybody's living life for the first time. Like, just live and enjoy life. So yeah.
And that's what I think when we were talking about it too, it was like I was also saying how, you know, we're like each individual, like all of us, we are all unique individuals, because there's no other person on this earth who has had the same exact experiences as you. So like you said, it's just like comparing yourself to anybody or even who you thought you would be, it's nonsense. Like it doesn't make sense, you know, because it's like you've never been in the position of life that you've wanted to be, right? And it's like, so how are you supposed to know how long it's supposed to take to get there?
Exactly.
You've never been this, or you've never done this. So, like, what makes you think that you know how long it should take? Mm-hmm. And like, your experiences in life are completely different than everybody else's, you know, like nobody's had your parents, your childhood, like we're all unique individuals. So like, it just makes no sense to compare yourself like, but that person, this, it's like, you don't know what's happened in their life that has allowed them to be in that place. Mm-hmm. And not only that, but I think like a lot of like, I think something we've all forget, and this is all of us, I'm definitely guilty of this, but I think when we look at like certain things on social media or whatever, and you start to kind of be like, why does my life not look like that, or why am I not doing those things or whatever? But it's like, we all have to remember that people only post the highlights. Mm-hmm. They are not letting you into all the things it took to get there, or what things they are currently going through, despite only posting the good stuff.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't put the negative stuff, you know? I mean, some people do, and they profit off of it, but like...
But most people don't.
Yeah, most people don't. Because again, I think as humans, a lot of us are naturally very proud and prideful, and, you know, nobody likes to look like a weak-ass bitch and be like, I'm struggle busting, you know? But... it is what it is. But again, we all have to remember, like, people usually only post the highlights. Yeah. So it's like, don't compare your worst to somebody's like like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I know, and I keep on trying to like.
And honestly, I think it's just gonna be a lifelong thing.
Honestly, I know recently I've been off of social media because of that. You know, I started seeing that it was kind of taking a toll on my mental health in a way that I was like, I didn't want to compare myself, but I was comparing myself. You get me? And that's just not healthy. So I decided to take like a break from it, and we'll see when I go back to like my personal social media. But for right now, I'm just like, you know, just trying to take it in and learn my lesson again and again, because I think I'll probably be learning that lesson forever, like you said. But I'm just kind of just, you know, like trying to get my mind right before anything else. You know, trying to tell myself that it's okay, and I'm at the place where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
So there we go.
It's a very good thing to keep in mind.
Yeah. So those are the 6 lessons that we learned in our 20s the hard way.
Yeah.
So with that being said, you want to take a little break?
Yeah, because girl, we about to hit an hour.
Damn. Okay. We'll be right back. And we're back again. I actually wanted to get Angel's perspective on this, and then also you guys, let me know what your perspective is on this too, comment down below. But I'm gonna play this, or not, I don't know if I'm gonna play all of it, but I'm gonna play some of it.
I also want to get like, let us know in the comments like a lesson you've learned the hard way.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're in your, I mean, hopefully you're in your 20s. I don't know if teenagers should be listening to us, but let us know like what lessons you've learned the hard way. Because I really want to know, like, and I feel like we all, I want to build a community of people who we just learn from each other. I would love to see if, you know, people are brave enough to post.
Yeah, or sometimes like we forget that, you know, maybe the experience that we're going through, we think that we're just doing it like it's just us alone, you know, and other people are kind of learning the same thing, you know. So yeah, leave it down below. Also comment down below what you guys think about this, what I'm about to play. Okay. All right, ahí te va. Okay.
I saw a quote that said, I don't care about disappointing my parents anymore because I'm not proud of their choices either. And I don't know how something could be so simple yet so profound and life-changing, because I'm to the point where like, I literally do not care about disappointing my parents or my family, because look at the choices that y'all made. Like, if we wouldn't even be in any of these messes that we are in if y'all didn't make those choices, and I'm the wrong one, I'm the bad one or whatever for trying to break out of it. Yeah, no. I saw a
So, and that was by the creator called Clara on TikTok. Clara Rewired by Faith, posted that on TikTok, and I wanted to see your point of it. So her basically thing is like, why am I? What was it again? Why am I so disappointed? Scared of disappointing my parents when I don't even was it their choices? I'm sorry, guys.
I said I don't care about disappointing my parents anymore because I'm not proud of their choices either.
Okay, I'm not scared of disappointing my parents anymore because I'm not proud of their choices either. What's your take on that?
You got me. This one's interesting, but I think everybody's experience is different. Mm-hmm. Like I don't think that applies to everybody, you know, and I feel like I've always upheld I've had the most respect for my mom. But also now that like I'm thinking about it, it's like, why did I want to make my dad so proud of me when I wasn't like, proud of his choices? Mm-hmm. Like I wouldn't go around being like, yeah, my dad only sees his daughter once a month, like it wasn't like I was proudfully, I wasn't going around bragging about that.
Like it wasn't a choice that you were proud of either. Mm-hmm. So why are we so scared to disappoint our parents where it's like, I think it's case by case scenario. I don't think it applies to like obviously everybody, but the ones that it does apply to, it's like, they made choices that we're not proud of, and yet we're so scared of, I think especially as being like, first generation Latinos, we're so scared of disappointing them.
Mm-hmm. I know that, I don't know that I was... Okay, you tell me if this is the same thing. I don't know that I was scared of disappointing my dad, but I knew that I wanted to make him proud.
I don't...
Is that the same thing?
It could tiptoe into not being the same thing.
Because I don't think I've been scared of disappointing him. Yeah. But I think I've always wanted his validation, for sure.
Definitely.
So, I don't know if it's the same
But you weren't, like, terrified of disappointing them. Like, oh, my God, if I disappointed him, it would be, like, the worst thing ever.
So, I was more scared of disappointing my mom. Okay. I think with her, I did want to make her proud. But I think it took a long time for me, not necessarily to say that I don't care if I disappoint her. But again, it goes back to what, one of the lessons I learned in my 20s is that mental peace trumps pride. Mm-hmm. Because I was always very proud and I didn't want to be, I think when I decided to leave school, that was one of the major things that I was really scared to disappoint my mom because she always wanted me to, to graduate. Yeah. And I was really scared of like disappointing her because that was one thing that she's always preached is like, take your education seriously and all this stuff, right? Which I did. Like, I was, like, a really good noodle when it came to school.
You were a good student. And, very good student.
Always, like, super on top of it and everything. And I think that's why, I don't know if it was out of fear, but more so out of trying to make them proud. Yeah. But I think when I decided to leave school, I was really scared of disappointing her because, and, I think... I know my mom has not made, we're not perfect. Nobody's perfect.
Everybody's living for the first time.
Yeah. And, but I can't really say that there's certain decisions that my mom's made that, like, I can't necessarily say I'm not proud of them. Yeah. Because, like, I'm trying to think if there's any decisions that she's made that I'm not proud of. I can't think of anything right now, okay?
Yeah, off the top of your head.
I can't think of anything at the top of my head, but I've just always held so much respect for her, and I've always known how much she has sacrificed, not only, coming to a whole new country,
Yeah.
You know, coming to a whole new country, not knowing the language, not knowing the people, the culture, anything. And, you know, deciding to start over, you know, and there's that. But, you know, I think when she decided to leave my dad, that was a huge decision too, because I know there's a lot of women that are in certain circumstances in relationships and stuff, and that's not necessarily easy for them to walk away from and decide to become a single mom.
Yeah.
And so I think there was, and my mom, you know, was like working 2 jobs trying to raise 2 girls. And I think I've just always had so much respect for her. And I think my mom was always the type of person to put her feelings aside and do what was necessary to get done what needed to be done.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I don't want to say necessarily that I'm proud of it, because, you know, like there was, like, I think I just hold so much respect for her. And I didn't want to let her down, because I didn't want her sacrifices to be in vain.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like she's done so much for me that I was like, dude, like even just leaving school, I was like, dude, the least you could do is graduate.
Yeah.
Towards the end of, you know, my college career, towards the end of it, that was something that I really battled with. I was like, girl, the least you could do is graduate. Like, your mom has done so much for you. And I think, I don't know. I think everybody's situation is
a little bit different.
I think everybody's situation is different, because I can't necessarily say, like, yeah, like obviously there's fucking trauma and stuff, but it's not that I'm not proud, you know? Like, I realize and I recognize that my mom did what she had to do to take care of us, you know? And it's, you know, I'm pretty sure she beats herself up for, like, you know, putting us in a situation where we have a single mom who works 2 jobs and we never see her. And, you know, like there's a lot to unpack to there, but I'm pretty sure, you know, there's a lot of things that she's like, man, I wish I could have done things differently. But I think she did the best she could with what she could, you know. I don't know how to explain it, but
that makes sense. I think you could definitely love and respect your parents dearly, you know, and still not accept, like, how can I say, their opinions or criticisms that they have, or whatever they say, you know. I think I kind of like see it a little bit, obviously, like, you know, of like, I was definitely one of those kids. I was very fearful. Even after all the disappointments I caused them, I was still very fearful of, like, disappointing them. Like, I hated disappointing them, because it really hurt me, in knowing that I know exactly how much they sacrificed. But putting into this perspective, there are choices that I'm just like, I would have not done that. I would have done that differently. I'm not proud of that, you know. But that's their life, and that's what they're living. And I'm like, okay, we're all living for the first time. So even if I'm okay if now at this age, I'm okay that if I do disappoint them, quote unquote disappoint them, I know whatever choice I make is for the best for myself, you know, and for everybody around me. So it's like, if they see it like that, then they see it like that, and I can't do anything about that. So to this day, I mean, they never said that I disappointed them, even though when I thought I disappointed them, they said that was not a disappointment. So
I think we build it, honestly, I think we build it up in our heads a lot more.
I think we do.
Depending on, like, your relationship with your parent, right? Because everybody's relationship with their parents is totally different. But I think in our experiences, I think we build it up in our heads a lot more. I was scared more so of disappointing my mom than I was with my dad. But with my mom, I think it was just, I just held so much respect for her.
And she was your primary parent too.
Yeah.
You know? So.
And, but I can't think of anything that I can't say, like, that I can say that I'm like, I'm not proud of necessarily. But, like, even just, like, certain, I'm like, now that you mention it, like, certain criticisms or, like, opinions on certain things, I could maybe, you know, like, I do disagree with my mom on certain things, but Again, like you know what? I don't know, girl. I don't think I'm at a point. I can't really say that I'm scared of disappointing my mom now.
Yeah.
Because I think I know, like, deep down that I don't think I could ever really disappoint her, because I know myself, you know, and I don't think I'm a bad person.
Yeah.
And I don't think I could ever be in a position or put myself in a position where I would do something to disappoint her.
That's exactly,
you know,
what
I think she did a great job at raising me, you know, as, you know, given the circumstances.
Yeah, as
I
best
think
she could be.
Yeah, I think she did pretty. I'm over here talking myself up.
I'm pretty good, actually.
I'm pretty good. No, I'm just, I think she did a good job raising me as well as she could. And for me, it was the school thing, I think, for sure. Because I know, like, she always preached, like, you know, go to school, good grades, graduate, or whatever. And I think that was the only, that I can think of, that's the only time that I was scared of disappointing her. But I got over that real quick. Because when I decided to leave and really focus on my mental health, I think I also realized that I think my mom also realized. I realized that my mom realized how important mental health is. And I think she even realized, like, I would rather my daughter, you know, get her mental health better, like improve her mental health, than for the sake of a piece of paper. Well, it's not a piece of paper to everybody, but like for the sake of just like a college degree, to, you know.
Yeah, like your health is much more important.
Yeah, you know, and so I think it just came down to, like, my mom cares about my well-being, and so I think for her it was just like, it was more important for me to get better than it was to graduate. And I think that's when I realized, you know, like, I think that's when I kind of got over that fear of, like, disappointing her.
Yeah.
But otherwise, like, me and my mom have had these conversations before where she tries to tell me, like, she's tried to guide me the best she could, and she would be like, oh, es que te lo digo porque yo ya pasé por esas cosas, you know, like, y no quiero que, like, I don't want you to struggle the way I did. So, you know, parents always give
that. But it's like, if I had followed my parent, this is the thing about it. My parents always want their kids to be safe. They want their they want to protect their kids at all costs. And sometimes that protection can limit that. That kid, you know, or adult, or young adult. And I feel like if I had taken a lot of advice from my parents, you know, they had that playing it safe, also that scarcity mindset of, like, you know, coming from another country, and it's like, you know, you get what you take, you know, like, you take,
it's like limited beliefs.
They still have very limited beliefs. And if I had taken their advice, I wouldn't be here, you know, because a lot of it was like, no, you know what, I'm just gonna go by my gut. I'm just gonna, like, I know you've never been through this situation. I know this scares you. I know it scares me too, but I know this is where I'm supposed to go. And it's I think I definitely learned that, especially, like, I pretty early on in my 20s, you know, like, to stop, to just follow what I feel like, you know, what, even if it might, I guess, disappoint them in short term, but I know in the long run it's gonna be for the best. So I saw this quote, somebody posted on commented on this, and it said, you can't break generational curses if you're still looking up to the generation that's cursed.
I think I've seen that before.
Yeah.
And
a good reminder.
You know, I think sometimes we get so caught up in, you know, trying not to disappoint them and trying to make them proud and stuff. Not realizing that, you know, your parents are watching you. They're also watching you, because they're also living life for the first time. And they learn from you just as much as you learn from them. And I see that with my mom all the time, because I think one thing about my mom is she has always, like, I think she's always recognized that I'm very, like, hyper independent. So, like, I think she's always been like, oh, it's that she's gonna do whatever the fuck she wants type of thing, you know. And, like, I think she's never really held me back. I think she's always been like, I think she's always pushed me to like, obviously they're going to give you the advice of like, oh, te lo digo porque yo ya pasé por allí, no quiero que batalles como yo, like all this stuff, right? And I remember there was this very vivid memory I have of me telling my mom, like, I understand that you went through something similar, but these are different times. Like, we're not living the same experience. And I get that that's, you know, you're telling me because I fully understand that my mom has the best intentions for me. And she's telling me something because
most parents do.
They want to protect you. But I remember telling my mom, like, let me learn from my own mistakes.
Yeah.
And I think after that, not after that, but like I think my mom was just like, okay,
let it go.
gotta set them free, you know, like obviously my mom can give me like, you know, like what she thinks, but ultimately my mom has always given me the space to make my own decisions. And so like, I don't know, I don't know where I was going with it.
No, I definitely agree. I feel like, I think my parents have also like been very like allowed me to make my own decisions very much, you know, but you know, they do have those limited beliefs, and I know they want to protect me and stuff. I think one moment that I remember is when I was purchasing my first home, and it was very unknown to them because I was single, I was young, and they were like, no, like, and for them it's like you move out with somebody, you know, you move out.
Cuando te vas de la casa, it's because basically like you're getting married. And
so it was so unknown to them because even like family around us had never done that, you know. So they only knew what they knew, and they didn't agree. Especially my dad, he was like, but why, like, why are you moving away? Like, is it something we did? Is it like even putting the fault on himself? Like, is there something? I'm like, no, it's just I just want that freedom, you know. I just want that step, and that's the next step in my life. And they may have not understand it, but I think poquito they're like, oh, okay, we're not gonna change your mind. We're not gonna change your mind. And even though they could give me all the advice they want, you know, I'll take it, you know, but doesn't mean that I'm gonna follow it, you know. I'll just take it with a grain of salt, you know. It's important. There are people that are very important to my life.
You value their opinion. It just doesn't mean that you necessarily gonna like follow what they say.
Exactly. So I don't know where I was going with this, but yeah.
Oh, it's just so funny that you bring that up because I didn't even tell my family I was buying a house.
Yeah, no, I told my family when I was already in the process. Like, I had already been approved and everything.
Yeah.
So, because I got pre-approved and then I went out and shopped. So, I had told them after that when I was already shopping and I had a date with the realtor, and they're like,
what?
What are you... What?
Sometimes I wonder what my mom would have said. But my situation is different because I was getting married.
You were getting married.
I was getting married. So I think for my mom, it would have been a little bit different.
Yeah.
But I kind of sprung it on her because I didn't even tell her. Because, see, you told them when you were, like, shopping.
Yeah.
I told her when she was inside the house and I already had the key.
Yeah.
I literally was like, by the way, I'm not renting this house. I bought it. Yeah. And then I remember they were like, what the fuck?
Like Angel?
No, but again, I think it was different circumstance. My situation is completely different than yours too, because like, you know, I've been with Val for like ever.
Yeah, and you were moving out like with him, you know? So it was kind of that security your mom had, you know?
Yeah.
And I think especially being like a young woman by yourself, it's like, what parent is not going to be worried?
Yeah. So I'm curious now how my mom would have reacted if, you know, I had been in your place. Pretty sure she would have also been like, pero por qué, you know?
Yeah.
But
understand, you know, but they're also going to question themselves.
It's understandable, you know, it's 100% understandable. Yeah. And I think, like I said, I think our parents learn from us as much as we learn from them, you know, and our parents are watching us because I know like there's, you know, I've definitely have gone against the grain in a lot of ways. And even just like taking mental health seriously. Yeah. And my mom even realizing like, oh shit, like, you know, I don't think she realized like
How important mental health is.
yeah, and like certain things that she like never considered or thought of, and even like I'm pretty sure that woman is an undiagnosed ADHD.
Probably.
And I think like once I like really, I think because in their mind like ADHD is like un niño inquieto, like
exactly, that's exactly what they think.
and so when I was like, you know, opening up about it more and telling my mom, she's like, oh shit, I think I have ADHD, like, you know.
Yeah.
And so it's just, you know, I think she's, you know, learning from, our parents learn from us.
We're
as
all
much.
living for the first time.
Yeah.
You know? So.
And I think that also has allowed me to be more graceful with, you know, like certain decisions like she's made or like opinions that she's had. I think that's why it's not that I'm necessarily not proud of certain things. I just think I'm very much graceful with like the life she's lived, the experiences she's had, and she's living life for the first time.
Exactly. Well, with that being said, I think maybe we should close out right here.
Should we not go into Chisme?
I mean, yeah, maybe one. Damn, this is a long episode.
Yeah, it's going a little over, so we'll just save it for next time.
Oh, man. There's not a short one?
No.
Okay.
we're gonna have to save it for next time.
Yeah, we'll save it for next time, guys. Sorry, it's because the episode's getting long. And then my contact is about to pop out right now, bro.
It's okay.
Like, it's so dry.
No, it's getting late. It's because we were just like chismeando before for like a good hot minute before we were like, maybe we should film.
I know. All right, guys. Pero con eso los dejamos. So if you are watching on YouTube, make sure to comment, like, subscribe. That means so much. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, make sure to leave a 5-star review. Anything less,
hit the DMs. It really helps us, guys. Please leave that 5-star rating.
If you made it this far in the episode, what should they comment?
I don't know. We said a lot of good stuff.
I know.
You
should comment the little eye emojis. I don't know why, but like it's because my eye is bothering me right now. So the eye emojis.
The eye emoji. I thought you were gonna be so much more profound.
No, but that's all I can think about.
Damn, she's about to say something profound.
Nope. Yeah, comment an eye emoji. So
it's just the one eye.
Anyways,
ahí los vamos a dejar. Que Dios los bendiga.
Besitos.
Bye, guys.